All right, finally, the tax problem. Yeah, this problem was a bit of a challenge. I graded this one quite a bit easier than I graded the rest of the exam because people really struggled with it. I think that's because we just learned it. It's stuff you guys just went over. At least that's probably part of it. But maybe it was just a really challenging problem, too. So at any rate, the tax problem. We'll go through it. You should see lots of partial credit for anything that you showed right on there. Let's go work out the problem. The first thing it says calculate FICA taxes. What you need to know about FICA taxes is that all income is subject to FICA. Maybe I'll even write that. All income is subject to FICA. So you see things like a standard deduction or an exemption or tax deferred contributions. You see all those things and you think you should subtract it from your initial wages. You don't. All income is subject to FICA, all $100,000. So you got this $100,000 and it's all getting taxed. But it gets taxed in two different ways. Right? It tells you somewhere in here the FICA tax rate is 7.65% on the first $94,200. Gross income of all of your income. So you take this $94,200, most of your $100,000, and you multiply that by 0.0765, 7.65%. And then any income in excess of $94,200. In other words, the difference between $100,000 and $94,200. If you do $100,000 minus $94,200, you get $5,800. This is the income in excess of this limit. This gets taxed too, just not as bad. Instead of at 7.65%, it only gets taxed at 1.45%. So you get 0.0145. This is the amount of tax you'll pay on the first $94,000. This is the amount of tax you'll pay on the remaining $5,800. So if you multiply these out on a calculator, you get 72.06 and 30 cents. You multiply these guys together, you'll get $84.10. And then if you add up those two numbers right here, this number plus this number, you'll get $7,290.40. A lot of money, but don't worry, you made 100 grand, so you're doing all right giving up 7,000. That's FICA. FICA is different than your total tax bill. Your income taxes are different. So when you're calculating income taxes, not all income is subject to income taxes. So what you do is you start out with your gross income of 100,000, but then you want to subtract things like any money that goes to a tax deferred retirement fund. You're going to pay income on this eventually, this $5,000, but not until you retire. Not paying it on it this year. Take away $5,000. There's more we get to take away. We got the standard deduction. Everybody gets to get it. Note I'm looking in the single column here because this person is single. This person is single? Sure. So I'm going to subtract in another $5,700. My standard deduction. I also get exemption per person. So every single person in my family, I got to take away another $3,650. How many people are in my family? Well, it says I'm single somewhere in here. They are single. So that means I only get one exemption. So I subtract 3650. So we'll do the 100,000 minus 5,000 minus 5,700 minus 3,650. And that tells us how much of our, try that again. If you ever screw something up like that, if you hit second and then enter, it'll pull up the last entry. I typed in 10,000, I meant 100,000. So I'll go up here and hit insert 0. Now I don't have to retype the whole thing over again. Get this answer. 85,650. This is my taxable income. Note I didn't do that in FICA because all income is subject to FICA, but income tax is only taxable income is subject to it. So I have $85,650 that are going to get taxed. How is it going to get taxed? Well, it depends. I have this 85,650 here. If you look at our chart up here, the first $8,000, $8,350 that I make is taxed at a pretty low rate, 10%. As So on my first $8,350, I'm going to get taxed 10%. On all the money up to $33,950. So that does not mean $33,950. That means $33,950 take away what was already taxed at a lower rate, that $83.50. $33,950 minus $83.50 is $25,600. So my first $8,000 is taxed at 10%. My next $25,600, which gets me up to a total of $33,950, is taxed at 15%. All my money up to $82,250. So everything up to $33,950 was taxed in one of these two brackets already, right? Up to $33,950 was taken care of. So what I want is the money from $33,950 up to $82,250. If I do $82,250 minus $39,950, $33,950, I get that my next $48,300 is going to get taxed at this 25% rate. But that's still not all my money, right? That's just the first $82,000, $82,250. I made $100,000. I didn't, but somebody did. So there's still money that needs to get taxed. The $100,000, a lot of it's already been taxed. Specifically, $82,250 has already been taxed. So that remainder, that $17,750, still needs to be taxed. It's going to be taxed at the 28% tax rate. So this is how all my money is getting taxed. Note, if you add up these four numbers, you'll get this $85,650 in my taxable income. So if we multiply these through, let's see, this first one will give me $835. The rest I'm going to do with the calculator, $25,600 times 15%. I get $3,840. And then 48,300 times 0.25 gives me a lot of money, 12,075. And then finally 17,750 times 0.28 is equal to 4970. So this is the money that I'm getting paid, or that I'm paying the government in income tax. If you add up all those numbers right there, you get 835 plus 3840 plus 12,075 plus 4970. And if I typed all those in right, I get 21,720. Total tax bill from income tax is $21,720. That's a hard problem. Calculate the overall tax rate on gross income. So the overall tax rate is the amount you were taxed. So 21,720 plus 72.90 and 40 cents. The total amount you were taxed divided by your gross income. Not your taxable income, but your gross income. The overall tax rate on your gross income. Gross income was 100 grand. So if you do this answer we just had plus 7290.4, and you get that answer and you divide it by 100,000, you get this 0.2901, and we want it as a percentage rounded to one decimal place, so we get 29.0%. Reality check, 29%. That seems a little bit high, right? Because we were taxed at 10%, 15%, 25%, and 28%. I would have guessed it was, I don't know, somewhere in between there, maybe 20% or so on average. But there's also the Fica. There's this additional $7,000 that we had to pay that's not calculated in these percentages here. That's where the 29% comes from. That's the answer to part C.